allow the two
It's okay. It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. Off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go sama us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My ego diary politico, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. Can in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Sure. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. My ego diary politico, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not they off in mind, oh, yo, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my yegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my yegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my yegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo, yo. My yegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make you shout, oh, yo, yo. My yegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Mayegun diary politico. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ayé sora yìí. Máyégún ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Máyégún máa bí. Ayé sora yìí. Máyégún ti dé. Presido bá rúfin o. Máyégún máa bí. Ayé sora yìí. Máyégún ti dé.
Hello there. Welcome back. Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. This is Máyégún Live. Thank you so much for joining me. Dear Templars, remember to read beyond the caption of the broadcast. Read the description of the broadcast as well. Like it, share it. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends. Tell them that Máyégún is live, Máyégún today. And then sit back yourself, relax, and enjoy the presentation as we'll be going from one report to another. Thiefnubu, the man that stole an election in that contraption, a man that has been pretty much fighting for legitimacy, a man that, in my own opinion, in the last 20 months, needed to be reminded that he is actually the president of Nigeria. And the people around him, most of them, if not all, they were like carefully selected. Doing one thing they were picked to do, to act sycophantly, as pure sycophants, right? In fact, to keep giving what is pretty much like, praises of thiefnubu in order to remind themselves that if not because Nigeria is a lawless country, number one, the person that gave them the appointment to either be ministers or essays or personal assistants is a guy that was supposed to actually be in jail, right? If not for his drug dealing past, it will be for his treasury looting past. However, because Nigeria is a place that is under the captivity or in the captivity of different kind of rogues, so they have to do everything at every turn to remind the man, thiefnubu, Koolu, that they are grateful for his benevolence. And that is why they would name supposed government infrastructures after him. It's so rare. It's nothing like that in the history of mismanagement of that contraption. None since I was born. That a supposed president who is suffering from the inferiority complex as well as illegitimacy needed to name government infrastructures after himself. Like you name government building after yourself. If you renovate a road, you want it named after you. If they renovate a park, he wants to rename it after himself. I have never seen anything like that before. But yeah, this is the reality of Nigeria under this druggie, the drug addict, the drug dealer, thiefnubu, as well as his horde of praise singers. The latest in that flock is the renovation of a barrack, a military barracks in Abuja, where renovated inner roads in the barracks, as well as repainted buildings, right? Has now been renamed after thiefnubu in Abuja, called the Bola Thiefnubu Barracks, Abuja, in December 2024, which is just last month, where the Ministry of Interior, where Olubunmi Ojo is the minister, okay, went on to paint a building, upgrade the computers in that building, the same building constructed by Bokohari as far back as 2019. Now, commissioned by Bokohari as a completed project, but with thiefnubu now in charge, they call it a control and command center for Nigeria immigration, kind of, in Abuja. And after repainting the building, installed, few computers and upgrade the software, or what have you, they actually named the entire building after him, Bola thiefnubu Control and Command Center. Similarly, in that same Abuja, with a wiki, they also renovated the road, right? Sometimes in May 2024, there's a place called Parkway, Road, Southern Parkway Highway, so in Abuja. That's the name of the road. They had to change the name to Bola thiefnubu Expressway in Abuja. Last year as well, the guy he appointed as education minister made a proposal where they want to establish some new polytechnics, and one of them will be built in Abuja, right? Federal Polytechnics. So they had to also name it after thiefnubu. So the inferiority complex is so massive, and those who continue to massage his ego, right, they are there in appreciation just to kind of make him like a royalty, kind of. Here you get. You are naming government institutions, government properties, roads after yourself, when you are actually still the president of that contraption. So that's what we're going to start from this evening. Let's take a bit of a tour. Mind you, this particular one for the military is just a mere show off. It's just a mere shine, kind of like attention seeking validation by thiefnubu. The real soldiers, most of them who have been at the supposed, war fronts, facing the terrorists, playing defense in the face of the increasing terrorism in Nigeria, right? The real welfare package for soldiers is not really paramount to these guys. Normally, the supposed service chiefs have become so stupendously rich via corruption, by the way, where a soldier in Nigeria still earns 55,000 naira a month. Despite the inflation that's eating so deep into the finances of the Nigerians, all of them, right? A soldier in Nigeria, I'm talking about even the soldier that is fighting war with terrorists and all that, those of them that are actually being killed, slaughtered, and codedly being hidden away from the people, right? They are dying for 55,000 naira, less than 70,000 naira. There is no insurance for them. There is no health care package for them. There is no educational package for their children. There's actually no any real thing for them. But yeah, let us paint a barrack and rename it after this egomaniac, kleptomaniac, the man that is working in italic just to kind of massage his ego. It is working. So we're going to go to Abuja quickly, if you're with me. So we'll start with this.
By Nigerian Army project and was commissioned by His Excellency Bola Ahmed President and Commander-in-Chief of the Army of the Federal Republic. On today, 23rd January 2025.
It's massages ego. There's some money. But the real officers who are supposed to actually be the real concern of any government. Because, I mean, considering what the reports that are, I mean, publicly available reports of the poor welfare package for them. But let's, you know, just last week, Matawale was defending the supposed budget, part of the budget of the Nigerian Army. Even though they have the biggest budget or the biggest share in their budget, around 5 trillion naira or so. Okay. However, he was complaining that the 50 billion naira they gave to them for procurement of arms and ammunition was too small. All right. There is no real welfare package for anybody who claim to be a soldier in Nigeria, except the high-ranking officers, the corrupt ones who have become contractors and politicians as well. All right. So the rest is just less massages ego. There is more. I'm just sharing with us the boring part first. All right. Before we get into other interesting convo tonight. Okay. So to Koolu himself, right? He also visited the portion where the soldiers were they displayed different vehicles. Their vehicles as part of the ceremony. Here is that one.
We have a staff strength of around 450 workers, now, companies located in Abuja. This is our night after vehicle. I have 2 variants that was just recently delivered, and it was the support of the studios. He was the one to provide the platform to us. So this was originally designed by me. I did the design myself, and we locally produced it 100% of this place. The platform that you're seeing here is the same thing you see this before. When we get the materials, we will be able to convert this. So we have different models of design. We have more than 10 different designs, from MRAPs to different calibers of vehicles. So a 10-minute presentation, I can guarantee you to show you how we can be able to achieve self-sufficiency in local production of hardware, both in the military and in the civil. So the Nigerians have a lot of capacity, and this is what is driving my passion. So I've been mentoring a lot of people for over the years, and I've been driving this thing by my own effort. So what I just want is the opportunity. Just trust me and try me and see what can be done. Sir. Just try and see. I can show you. Yes, I did this, and the other one. Yes, sir. I want to show you. This one, if it gets caught, you can tie this to a tree. You can see the other one with surveillance systems here. He's going to show you. place. So you can see this is the free hall. It's designed to stop light and air. On the whole side of the vehicle. So if you open inside, you see the surveillance equipment and the communication equipment, all these things. So these are done by young Nigerians. I'm 34 years old. I'm one of the oldest in the company. A lot of all these guys come to and supposed to see. So these are the guys graduates from engineering, from different capacities. Allow them. So these are just, you even come with the technician and you can see all these guys. So we are taking them from the Patika. Patika is where you have all these auto mechanics repairs shops. From different parts. Come, driving. Come. So this boy can strip this engine down and fix it. He did not go to university, but he has so much experience. Just like the other one. Look at all these guys. Look at all these boys. You can see. So we have 450 workers. I can guarantee you. So you can see our factory. We have a new complex that we're building now. All these things are done by ourselves. So please give us the opportunity to be able to do things. This is the new hope agenda.
So those are made in Nigeria combat vehicles, surveillance vehicles, armored personnel carriers, and all of that stuff. And that guy was there kind of like speaking directly to thiefnubu that, you know, if they give them the chance, which means they should patronize them, like hunt them. They can manufacture different designs of combat vehicles. But don't be so they work. Nigeria is not America, all right? They will make money from patronizing the supposed local manufacturers. You all know that. But let's leave that. Here is a Koolu at the ceremony, feeling so good. Yes. Welcome to Koolu's Army Barrack, Abi Military Barrack, Abuja.
For a respectable, peaceful Nigeria. On this occasion, we open a new chapter in our nation's commitment to ensuring the safety and security of our people. For all you, the officers, leaders, men and women of armed forces, I stand here to say thank you. Thank you for the improvement we have seen in the security, effectiveness, and the danger you faced most of the time. I follow your news regularly, and I appreciate what you are doing. With pride, I am happy to say the Nigerian Armed Forces is cohesive and coherent and ready to battle all sorts of insurgencies, and we will continue to win. I'm deeply moved and filled with pride and gratitude for the men and women who wear the uniform of armed forces, using this to warn those who have raised challenges against our men and women of the armed forces, that under the collaboration, leadership of CGS, CG Musa, whoever who stand guard with the service chiefs and men against the evil forces that seek to retard our cherished peace and development. I salute you, and I'm ready to back you. You never lost any battle. This one, you will win and win again. Your dedication, courage, and resilience to protect our freedoms and uphold the very principle upon which our nation was founded is commendable. You exemplify loyalty, excellence in every endeavor, serving as a shining beacon of hope and strength for all citizens. We recognize the burden you bear and the challenges you face. You stand ready to respond to any threat, ensuring peace, stability, and security of our country. One thank you is not good enough. I say thank you, and thank you all over again. It is fitting and a grateful nation honors your sacrifices with state-of-the-art facility that reflect the high standard demanded of you. Under the banner of our Renewed Hope administration, I reaffirm my commitment to building a well-equipped and truly professional military that embodies our nation's pride. In this regard, I have authorized measures to enhance our operational effectiveness.
I want to remind you all, okay, that just word salads, an arrangement put together to massage the ego of an illegitimate man occupying the office of the president of Nigeria. And apart from that show of an moral view, there is nothing else that actually tells that the welfare of the military or the soldiers in Nigeria is going to change for the better. Nothing. It is just a mere sort of ego tripping kind of. The senior military officers there, I mean, they've been smiling to the banks for a while now. So this is not the first time. But this is the list of part of their own cash out since the civilian, since the incursion or the introduction of the civilian rule in Nigeria 25 years ago. It has actually been a pastime for them that if you take off some of the uniforms they are wearing underneath it, they are pure civilians who have been unable to actually protect the country, protect our people. Like I said, it lacks any substance whatsoever. Under them, more Nigerians have been killed in the last 1 year alone. More Nigerians have been kidnapped and more Nigerians have paid ransoms. So they have done well in, in intimidating and threatening the supposed media and the people that are supposed to actually expose them. Because their modus operandi is if you dare expose their ineptitude, their incompetence, and their corruption, you will be charged for treason. That has been the modus operandi, the modus of operation of theirs. So to them, right, just continue to say everything is fine, everything is fine. Therefore, if you ever get caught or get caught up in the crossfire of these terrorists whatsoever, you are on your own. They have always been reporting they are clamped down on terrorists, but yet terrorism has remained like at its highest in Nigeria. It is a multi-billion dollars environment industry, by the way. So this is the list. Painting buildings, renovating inner roads within their barracks, and then renaming the entire place after thiefnubu. But the real welfare, the welfare of the real soldiers, it's all mouth, just talks. There was a marching past, by the way, that also happened during the event. It's crazy, honestly. But I want to share this other part of thiefnubu's comment before we go to something else. No, the boring part is like taking forever, isn't it? Don't worry. Just watch this for another few minutes.
Government that will reflect the present and future demand of your time. You're safeguarding our nation and we are protecting our democracy. Once again, thank you. As we break the ground on this armed forces complex, that it symbolizes our nation's respect and administration for your unwavering service and our dedication to providing the resources you need to function better. This edifice, when completed, will not only stand as a center of loyalty, but a national monument that every Nigerian will be proud of. It will be a hub of excellence, re-energizing able leaders who are committed to safety of our citizens. And our nation's economy continue to improve, our armed forces will better be repositioned to respond to the mandates enshrined in our Constitution, ensuring a secure future for our nation and next generation. I am particularly proud to share that our efforts in developing a military-industrial complex have begun to yield positive results. This initiative is driven by significant research and development by the Defense Industries Corporation of Nigeria, the Command Engineering Depot of the Nigerian Army, and the private entities such as EPOL and Proforce have enhanced our domestic defense capabilities. Thus, with great pride and pleasure, I announce the assembly of this displayed tactical mine research ambush protected MARP vehicles and armored personnel carriers produced in Nigeria. They testify to the advancement pride in our defense sector. These vehicles will not only boost our armed forces' operational efficiency, but will also enhance our economy. Ladies and gentlemen, as we lay the foundation for this complex and set sail on this exciting journey of transformation and renewal, let us also lay down our markers of hope for our service members and their families, hope for the future of our security, and hope for a stronger Nigeria. Together we shall take pride in what we commenced building here today. It will be bricks and mortar and a legacy of strength, determination, and unity. This groundbreaking event, coming on the heel of the Armed Forces Remembrance Day, shall be an enduring honor, especially to those who have laid down their lives.
Nuisance lele.
Let's leave them at their celebration. In another development, the Ekiti State Government has responded to the viral news of Sharia in Ekiti. According to them, or according to the spokesperson of the Ministry of Justice as well as the government on this matter, they said there is nothing called Sharia in Ekiti legal structure. If you have anybody pushing this kind of agenda in Ekiti, right, they will be treated as the enemies of Ekiti and will be dealt with accordingly. Because according to him, the idea of Sharia in Ekiti doesn't even arise, because in Ekiti State, what they have legally, like the legal structure they have, you have the High Court, you have the State High Court, you have the Federal High Court. Then you have what is called the Customary Courts. Customary Court is to deal with all the, all the primary issues like, marriages, inheritance, even religion as well. So, just like what you have in the northern part of Nigeria, he believes that the northern part of Nigeria, which also have the normal conventional court, like the rest of Nigeria, they also have another smaller courts in their own way, which to some of them is the Sharia Court. Okay, so for their own legal structure in northern part of Nigeria, some of them you will see where they don't have normal traditional customary court. The word traditional is not like say traditional per se. It's like a court where the head of the customary court is usually like a local chief. Okay, so where disputes, like local disputes, kind of like a settled, and where this cannot be settled, then you can take it to the State High Court. Okay, where even land matters cannot be settled, then that's when you go to the higher court. So if you have a Sharia court in northern Nigeria, there is nothing like that in the southern part of Nigeria. There's nothing called Sharia panel as well. That's the people who were pushing this idea. They are being kind of like a mischievous, and in their words, in his words, it's like, no, this is not welcomed in Ekiti State. There are those who believe that, like I explained yesterday, who believe that there must be this religious kind of supremacy, sort of, and to them, we have gotten to the era of competition. I mean, like competition between the religious bodies, and somehow, especially the Islamic extremists, among us, who are beginning to feel like it is now time that they have a separate legal system that should be dealing with them. You know, what they did in northern part of Nigeria before now, when they started their Sharia, which has kind of like given us in the southern part of Nigeria, what you can call PTSD of a thing, right? When they started their Sharia in northern part of Nigeria, they said it was strictly for Muslims. So the first thing was like, they are settling marriage disputes. Okay, they are breaking up marriages or something like that. Then before you could say jack, they started giving judgments of people should be beaten up. Like you get 40 strokes of cane for adultery, for drinking alcohol. And then then afterward, we started hearing amputation of arm for stealing. All right. In all of this, okay, it was believed that, just before that, it was believed that, the only people who take their case or cases to the Sharia tribunal or panel or Sharia courts, they did on their own volition. But what followed was that they set up their own special police as like special enforcement agency. Sure you get. So which means they didn't just set up a Sharia panel or Sharia tribunal or Sharia court. They had to set up their own police to enforce. And before you know it, they started arresting people. This Isba or Sharia police, because the normal conventional police, normal police or what have you, they are not kind of like, they are not under the control of this Isba court. So they are like with Nigeria. So, and before you know it, it started going from, this was for Muslims. The Christians are not, then from there it just went straight to blasphemy. So blasphemy is when anybody accuses you of doing something like you flaunt the Quran, or you are a Christian but you are not a Muslim, but you touched the Quran. It's a blasphemy. Or you said something about Muhammad, or you said something about Allah. So they will report you to their Isba police. The Isba police will now arrest you. They will now drag you to the front of the Sharia judge. The Sharia judges. And the Sharia judges, right, they will now roll out a judgment. Their judgment on what you have done, what is the punishment. They should go and stone you to death. And that is when the controversy around Sharia or no Sharia became a thing. So the idea of, this was the Muslim matter, doesn't concern the Christians. Sharia doesn't affect the Christians. This is one fraudulent, deceitful way, that they have managed to push their Sharia in northern part of Nigeria. And in most cases, their Sharia is not for the rich, remember. So those who are pushing it in the southern part of Nigeria, they are using the same technique. It's called takiya. So that you will see the ignorant non-Muslims, right? Or those who will claim to be moderate Muslims. Those ones that will claim that they are not fanatics. When they want to explain to you why Sharia is none of your business, they don't even know why you are so triggered. They don't know why you are so, worked up because of this Sharia thing. It doesn't affect Christians. It is just a Muslim this and that. That is how they did it in northern Nigeria. In fact, that is what we heard that they told Obasanjo that allowed them to have the Sharia coded into their criminal code in northern Nigeria. They defended, they said, no, it's got nothing to do with other religion. No. It's people are just ignorant. They don't understand. The way this Sharia thing work, it doesn't have anything to do with, once you are not a Muslim, it's none of your business. Stop suffering from Islamophobia. That's what they say. But we all know that the political Sharia in Nigeria, it is never about morality. It is never about Islam. It is completely about control, subjugation, and the rest of that. And if you are, or if you have been anywhere where they have tried to convince some of you, typically in that contraption Nigeria, in southern part of Nigeria, if you ever kind of find yourself in the midst of those who claim to be moderates, those who claim to be non-fanatics, explaining to you what Sharia means, you must reject it with every fiber in you, every vein in you. You must. Do not listen to them. Do not give them any chance to even try to explain it to you, because they are as fraudulent as the fanatics that are pushing it. All they need is for it to first start. And the moment it starts, then slowly and steadily, they'll begin to spread and spread their tentacle until it becomes a crisis. So in Ekiti, consider that those who pushed the agenda, they had an ulterior motive of whatever it is that they intend to achieve by pushing the narrative that, a Sharia court in Ekiti was a settling matter, marriage matter. That's how they started in northern Nigeria. Today, we know better. So to those of you who are smart enough, awaken, right? In Yoruba land, there will be no Sharia that these fanatics are pushing. And if you actually see the tone to which they are saying it, you can tell these are a bunch of hypocrites that can hide behind religion to perpetuate all kinds of, evil. That is why with every blood in you, with every vein in you, right, you must use everything within you to reject it. Continue to reject it. Don't let anybody use any takiya on you. The idea of their Sharia is evil, and it will remain evil. It is not about Islam. It is about control. And you must never, for any reason, support it. Ever. Listen to the tone of this lunatic from Osun.
Wọ́n bi adájọ́ àgbà léèrè láyé Arẹ́gbẹ́ lóṣogbo mẹ́wọ́n ti bi léèrè wípé wáyé àbíkọ̀tù àwọn oníṣẹ̀ṣe rè títa àwọn Christian rè ti magistrate àbí nǹkan títa àwọn Muslim kan kí ládájọ́ àgbà sọ ó ní kò sí ẹni tí wọ́n ń béèrè gómìnà tí ń béèrè ní àtúndéjì òfin sí ò béèrè ẹbí everybody léèrè kò sí lọ́yà náà tó bá mọ̀ nípa òfin yóò tọ́kọ̀ òfin yóò sọ pé àìbéèrè wa ni tó bá di pa wá béèrè ọ̀nàrẹ́bù kan wá takò wá ní house ó tún jẹ ipò kankan mọ́ tí ó tó ọ̀nàrẹ́bù èyí tó sì jẹ yóò sì dàrú bó ṣe gómìnà kò ní kú òbí tọ́wọ́ àwọn èyí tí sì ń bẹ lọ́wọ́ rẹ̀ yóò bàjẹ́ ẹnikẹ́ni tó bá rí ọ jẹ́ tó bá takò ètò ìgbésí ayé tí a tàbí ń jẹ́ mùsùlùmí ẹnu wọn bá tẹ́ gbẹ́kù tọ́sẹ́kù ní òfin ọlọ́run yóò da ẹni tó bá rí òkú nù dáadáa ní ọ̀ràn rẹ̀ yóò dàrú tó bá wá fẹ́ kọ́ ṣẹlẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ tó fẹ́ káyé rí ọmọ dá ipò rí ọmọ pọ̀ sí bó ṣe gómìnà bó ṣe ọ̀nàrẹ́bù bó ṣe lọ́yà bó ṣe ẹni tó rí ọ jẹ́ dáadáa rí ọmọ pọ̀ sí mọ́tàkó ìfẹ́ ọlọ́run wọ́n ti gé tẹ́lẹ̀ mọ́tàkó ìtọ́lọ́ yọ̀ǹda fún orí ọ̀fẹ́ tíá àti lè ṣàdáyanrí Christian pẹ̀lú kóòtù ẹ̀ a lè ṣàdáyanrí oníṣẹ̀ṣe pẹ̀lú kóòtù ẹ̀ sí kọ̀ wáyé wọ́n ṣàdáyanrí ìtawà àwọn ajẹ́ bí ìwé èrè àbí ó sì lérò rí pé mùsùlùmí kan orí ẹ̀ lè pé ó lè gbọ́n tí mò ń wí iye kóun náà máa yarí kẹgbẹ́ tí bá ń bẹ lórí ìjọba tí a bá gbé síwájú rẹ̀ tó bá takò àwọn tí ń bẹ ń bí ẹgbẹ́ òun tí wọn bá kó ń bẹ wọn àtò jẹ́ èèyàn mọ́ ẹgbẹ́ òun tó jẹ́ èèyàn mọ́ àfi táwọn tó takò ń bá kó wọn a lè máa jẹ́ èèyàn bí ó ṣe rí nù ẹ sọ pé tabbati yada hadi lahabi wa tabba kì í bá tí ni ma hagna anhu maluhu wa ma kasaba sayasla naran dhata lahab wa imra'atuhu ammalatal hatab fi jaydiha abilun min masad aya yìí lọ́lọ́run fi dé pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ tó dánrú ẹ̀wò tó fẹ́ di grace ànábì wa Muhammad sallam ìtawà náà ṣe tàyè orí mímbàrí mo ti ta mímbàrí tó pé aṣọ fọ́lọ́run lọ́jọ́ kan yí pé àwọn aráàlú ń dà láàmú ká bá wọn tọrọ àwọn òsì tó ń kẹ́kẹ́ wọn bẹ̀tù ọlọ́run ló ní mímbàrí ìwọ Ọlọ́run lọ ní mọ́sálásí àtọ̀rọ̀dọ̀ rẹ̀ fún alójò kí ilẹ̀ owó tó sùn ilẹ̀ òṣìṣú tó jò fi bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí máa rọ̀ ó sì rọ̀ lọ ní gẹ́gẹ́ rọ̀ lọ́jọ́ lásán tó rọ̀ níjọ́ keje ó tó rọ̀ níjọ́ kẹta ara sì rọ àwọn èèyàn ọba tó gba àdúrà jọ̀hún ètò ìmọ̀wé náà yọ gbà àmọ́ ẹni tí ọba takò wá ayé rẹ̀ ọmọ dáa subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun ala mursalin alhamdulillah. wọ́n bi adájọ́ àgbà.
nuisance lélẹ́yìí.
So to those of you who don't understand Yoruba, okay, so that supposed Afa was talking about an experience or an exchange or exchanges between, a supposed lawyer or a judge and then a governor in Osun State, which is lying. You can tell, but that's how they do it. Do you know that there is a part of Islam that actually allows you to lie? It is true, you are allowed to lie. And that's why it is called takiya. You can make up lies in defense of your religion. Honestly. No offense to those of you who are Muslims watching me. No offense, but you know what I'm talking about is true. You are allowed to lie in defense of your religion. You are allowed to. So he said a scenario played out that a governor was asking the judge, right, in terms of practically saying Aregbe Mugbo Baba Kabiru was asking a judge that how come the traditionalists, they have their own court, the Christians have their own court, but the Muslims don't have their own court. Baba, do you have any courts in Nigeria or in Osun State? Do you have any courts in Osun State where the traditionalists are the owners and the judges and the rest? Do you have anything like that? Do you have any courts in Osun State where the court is owned by Christians? So that's why he said, but the Muslims don't have their own courts. So are they mad people? Like Awawa Yahweh Abi. Alaji Wahab, he said no. Abba. Alaji. What do you call takiya? Okay, I'm not saying in the Quran, but in your religion, there's something called takiya. And takiya is what? Is to lie. Pretend that, to present yourself like in a dubious way so that you can get whatever you want to get. Is that not what you call takiya? No? Okay. But that mofo was lying there. Because there is, that number one, the supposed event never happened, but is addressing his, his own congregation, telling them that. So they, Muslims, they don't deserve to have their own court. That there is no way that if he tells those Muslims who are sensible, they are supposed to be angry. And listen, if you are a politician, that if we bring this thing before you, that we need our own Sharia courts, and you stop us, you will see what will happen to you. If you are a lawmaker, we will make sure that, right, you will become nothing, and you will never become anything after this. If you are a governor, don't worry. You antagonize us. You won't give us our court, Abi. You will see what will happen to you. It is always with this level of threats, aggression, and the mix of lies. You see that particular one? Watch out for him. People should watch out for him, and I am actually watching out for him too, because what you have in Yoruba land, right, is a legal system that actually represents everyone's interest. But somehow, these ones believe that they are supposed to, they are supposed to have their own. And a day is coming that they will be in the majority and they will have whatever they deserve or they desire. But with what we have seen from northern Nigeria, we will continue to resist it. Inshallah. We will continue to educate the people. Why? The idea behind this, by all means, is evil. There is nothing progressive about it. Nothing. Because, number one, Yoruba land is not an Islamic republic or Islamic region, or what have you. It's also not a Christian region. It is a place where the freedom of religion is genuinely, right? It's genuinely practiced to the latter. It is a place where you can be wherever you want to be without fear of favor. It is called, I think, without fear of favor. You know? So we must keep it that way. And those who are pushing their political Sharia, political religious agenda must always be, they must be kept at bay. They won't stop. And those who are funding them, they are also likely not going to stop. But the only thing we must never forget is that their intention is never for anything good. It is selfish. It is all about control. And we have seen it in northern Nigeria. We have seen the effects of that. We have seen the hypocrisy of it. So it's going to really, really be hard for them, right, to push it successfully in Yoruba land. Now, talking about the imbalance in the system, anyway, the visible one, is the fact that Nigeria is still surviving today. You see, when anyone tells you that Nigeria is not breakable, they're not saying that simply because they love Nigeria. No. I see, there's actually no real person who loves Nigeria. If all of us want to be honest, the idea of loving Nigeria is a man-made one. Genuinely, there is nobody that loves Nigeria. The only people that pretend to love Nigeria are those who are currently benefiting from it, ripping it off, looting it, or benefiting from the looting. But we are more loyal to our own tribes and then ethnics. That one is what some people would deny, you know. I want Nigeria to be great, Iranian. They actually want Nigeria will be great if their own people, by chance, they are the ones in power. So the moment they are not in power or benefiting from the sharing of that power, Nigeria can go to places. So now, Nigerians, put it that way, they are more loyal to their tribe and their ethnic, so to say. Some are even more loyal to their religion than they are to Nigeria. So the real loyalty or patriotism for Nigeria doesn't really exist. So people feel more attached to their tribe, their ethnic, than they are to Nigeria. Nigeria can burn. But if anything happens in anybody's region, it's like it hits home more. Because Nigeria's existence is based on the robbing the Peter to pay Paul arrangements. If that changes, it will further show to you how much people have been pretending to be of the same country. It will will explain to you how much we have been lying to ourselves. So take, for instance, their tax reform debate. It has exposed even more, right, what some people from especially the Southerners, the way they have, over the years, they have been seeing the Northerners, as well as how the Northerners have been seeing the Southerners. All right? So to Southerners, when they have the chance of saying it, they will tell you, the North is a parasite that contributes almost nothing, but takes so much from the rest of the country. And whatever it is that is given to the North is squandered and did not continue to put Nigeria on the map of the poverty capital of the world. So, if they are upset with the new sharing arrangements called the tax reform, whatever, so they should take it that way, or we should break up. Let's break up this place. There are Southerners who have already said that if they try anything, to them in the North, they are pushing the agenda of, this is the bad Muslim ticket. Now, it's like shooting yourself on the foot. And they are bragging openly that the power will never go back to the South again. Because to them, they have the number. They have all it takes to remain in power for as long as they want. They do say that to themselves, and they are now saying it loud, openly. They feel so shortchanged. Everything that they have managed to structure in their favor is now being challenged, according to them. It's now being taken away from them systematically. And they blame themselves for it. They're like, it's our fault, If thiefnubu continues like this, they were openly saying, oh, thiefnubu is going to be an OTP, a one-term president. While the Southerners are saying, you try them, we will break up this Nigeria. So you see this imbalance. There's this guy on Arise TV or Arise News who was kind of like analyzing it, and to him, well, Nigeria is being restructured already. The kangaroo restructuring that some from the South believe that thiefnubu is doing. So to them, they are like, thiefnubu is their karma. So whatever it is that he's doing, as long as the Northern Nigeria is not happy, they are happy. And there are many people who feel that way. It is surreal. It is nonsense. But in his words, let me play that for you. Listen.
There are so many issues on this matter. The first foundation to lay is that Nigeria is not a united country, despite all the pretenses. We are not South since 1914. It has not changed. The North, at the flip of a switch, they are able to shout Northern interest. The Southerners are laid back, hoping that, oh, we are civilized. We don't want to talk about tribalism. Tribalism is at play. We are pretentious about this matter. Look, the North has taken us for a ride for too long. They foisted federal character on Nigeria over 40 years. They foisted quota system over Nigeria over 40 years. Have they benefited from it? Only the tiny clique in the North is holding the whole country to ransom. It's enough time for Nigeria to wake up. We are not together, North plus South. Now they are talking the elite, the few elite in the North. Like if feeding bottle is going to be removed from their mouth. That's what they are doing. They are shouting. They are forming a group now. Lead of Northern Democrats. The governor of Bauchi was talking. They won't be able to pay salaries again. They won't be able to do that. Look, the North has damaged Nigeria fundamentally with this attitude. Who are the Nigerians who are now japping now? They are Southerners. The South invested in education massively in the 50s and the 60s. The products now are being driven out of Nigeria. Can you find the Fulani man in London or in New York practicing medicine, practicing engineering? It's Yoruba, the Igbo, Southerner that are marginalized. It's time to call the bluff of the North. Not because we even support what Tinubu is doing, but we have to converse about Nigeria. Nigeria is not, we are pretentious. Let's go to the brass tacks. That's why we are calling for regionalization. The North is separate from the South. That's just the truth. That's just the truth, unless we are deceiving ourselves.
All right, Dr. Fakunda. It looks to me like a lot of people might consider your submissions a bit concerning. The way that you are addressing issues that have to do with the northern part of the country. When you say that we are different, does it appear to you that it might sound like you are trying to breed division? Does it appear to you like you are in a way sounding like Kemi Badenoch, the leader of the Conservative Party in the UK, who is of Nigerian parentage, and who says that, have got nothing in common with the North, and that they were even enemies, of where she comes from, which is of the Yoruba stock. You, of course, will have noticed the backlash that attracted, and people criticize that that's not the spirit that Nigeria is trying to work on. So when you base your argument of regionalization on the fact that we can be together, even though we can be good neighbors, don't you think, sir, that you might make things a bit difficult for somebody like President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is Yoruba and who has been accused anyway of trying to Yorubanize the entire machinery of government? And therefore, if you are proposing to him that he should do more of restructuring that regionalizes, wouldn't that appear as anti-North? Anti-North at a time that key northern elements are saying that no, come 2027, it doesn't look like we'll support you. Aren't you making things a bit difficult for a Yoruba man like yourself, sir, who's the president?
Thank you very much. It's a fact that we are divided. We pretend that it's totally, I don't understand it. The North knows what they want, and the South are reluctant to say what they want. President Tinubu is better to put all the cards on the table, trying to pepper over it and say we are united. Of course, we are not united. We are not united. We are divided. That's just the truth. I've told you now that the North brought federal character. The South agreed to okay, fine, we are united. Where is the result of it? The North brought quota system. Southern agreed with it. It's in the Constitution. What is the result? If we now bring in tax to say, okay, get more VAT in the North at the expense of the South, so what will be the result? The division will continue until we remove the feeding bottle, let everybody just work according to his own dictates. The North sincerely believes in Sharia. We should not grow them for that purpose now. We should let them be. They want Sharia. In the South, there are Muslims. We don't want Sharia. Somebody brought us in Oyo to do Sharia in Oyo. Everybody put it down. The Muslims in the South don't want Sharia. So why are we pretending? In the Southeast, some few Muslims, but they don't want Sharia. Let's accept who we are. Let's accept reality so that we'll not stop talking and motion without movement. That's what it is. I'm not ashamed. Okay, look, if President Tinubu succeeds now, 2027, 2031, every Yoruba person in Abuja will be cleaned out of the system. Because Buhari started with Fulani, he is doing Yoruba now. Let the Igbos come. We cannot grow the Igbos if they put 99% in all positions too. Is that the way we are building the country? Let Yoruba man go and rule Yoruba land. Let the North agree on who will rule Northwest. Let the Kanuri rule Northeast. Let the Igbos rule the Southeast. Let the South agree. Then the temperature will come down. I will not want to be running federal election with 200 million naira form because I have to run from Sokoto to Ikotekpene. I will campaign as a premier of Western region where people know me and I know them. I know what they want. The Southwest want to bring all Yorubas who are Japan, bring them back to Nigeria. Nigeria is too hostile for the Yorubas now. Nigeria is a poisoned environment for Yoruba because we invested in education so much and we have lost all the human beings. They are developing other societies. The North will not care less. How many doctors do they have in United States? How many doctors do they have in Europe? These are facts I'm put on the table now. I don't need to sugarcoat anything at all. We are divided. Let's just accept it. It's no fight, it's no war. The North will come up on their own. We will respect each other. But this matter of trying to play some games, President Tinubu is better. In fact, if he runs only one term and he brings this temperature down, his name will go down in history. But if he does not do anything in the next 6 months about restructuring, and he goes to use all the money to run election in 2027 and he wins, and then what? Yorubas will become endangered in the political system because once he leaves, then Nigeria is not safe for Yorubama again.
Sorry,
let the Igbos come. They have right to come too.
Thank you. I have to call him Professor Fakunda. Can any one of you dispute all he said, though? Can anybody dispute that? No. thiefnubu is a very selfish individual, right? And if there's nothing in it for him, right, he doesn't give a damn about the rest of you. And I actually love his points because it makes me feel like this man possibly is a viewer of the Temple of Truth. If you listen to all of his talking points, starting with, let us all stop pretending. We are not one. There is nothing called one Nigeria. The other part that I actually love about his point is that the North, they are very, very confident and audacious and intentional about what they want. It is us in the southern part of Nigeria that wanted to sound as liberal people. You know, we are liberal, we are educated. Or if that is the case, yeah, it's all right, we'll take it. The North has always been the ones to propose. They forced what they called quota system on us. The South felt like, well, that's fine, that's okay. So the southern Nigeria invested so much on the education of their children, only for their children to be led by stark illiterates who gained admission into university with just a 2 in JAMB, 20 in JAMB, with a F9 parallel in their WAEC and what have you. But they'll see quota system says, you know, they are educationally disadvantaged. They must. Then they now forced what is called national, what's that? National character or something, where the northern Nigeria have a certain percentage, all right? National Character Commission or something like that. That they have a certain percentage of them that must be employed in the civil service, whether they are qualified or not, no? And the rest of you from southern Nigeria, you end up having to be called to play a second fiddle to them. At the end of the day, us in the southern part of Nigeria became unconducive for us. That we had to go and look for greener pastures in all over the world. We are suffering from the brain drain caused by the northern Nigeria. And today, they are holding different, ministries as head and all that. While the rest of us are doctors, professionals all over the world, and Yoruba land has been sucked of this important, valuable resource, human resources, because of Nigeria. Federal character, I call it national character. I mean, I don't know, they have all these funny names. So I like that. So we should stop pretending. We're raised in southern part of Nigeria to be acting like we are liberal. We are, it's all right. Oh yeah, that's fine. That's okay. But northern Nigeria, they are very, very intentional. Not as if to say all of these things is in the interest of their people. No, it's just minute of them. Just few of them are benefiting from all this RNG they considered as the interest of the North. They will tell you, this is the position of the North. This is the interest of the North. This is what the North wants. If we don't get this, then, there will be problem. So the highest years, or the longest thiefnubu can be your presidiot is 8 years. He can fill the whole place with all of his friends who are Yorubas. So what will happen to them when it's done? It's just within a week. Yes, within a week. Once thiefnubu is no longer your presidiot, they will clear the entire place of the Yorubas. So where this Professor Akbowunda said, let everybody go back and rule themselves. Is that not the position of this platform for years now? Is that not the position of the Temple of Truth for years? Dear Templars, is that not what we have been preaching? That we should be intentional. We should stop pretending. We should stop living in denial. There is nothing called one Nigeria. Let everybody go back to where they come from. I, as a Yoruba man, let me go and run for political office in Yoruba land. Speak Yoruba to my fellow Yorubas. If I mess up, I should be dealt with in Yoruba land. I shouldn't be protected or run away to Abuja or run away to any other place where I will be covered, protected. I should be dealt with in Yoruba land. Let the Yorubas rule Yoruba land. Let the Igbos rule Igbo land. Let everyone from their land rule their land. There is nothing called one Nigeria. It is a lie from the pit of hell. I'm happy somebody is saying that on their national television in Nigeria. Being politically correct is absolute nonsense. Trying to be politically correct. To what end? To whose favor? So we are getting there. Oh, no, we are getting there. They may not even invite that man to their television station anymore. Let thiefnubu fill the whole place with his family members, the federal appointments, all these appointments, right? Let him fill the whole place with his family members and his friends after 8 years. Bokohari did it. Where are those ones that Bokohari put there 2 years ago, who were living like a lot of manner? So anybody who gets in again is also free to fill the whole place with his own ethnic or tribal people. That is not a country. It is a company. It doesn't serve the interest of anyone but the shareholders, who are the criminal politicians and their friends. And that is why, you can never have a country the way they have put together this contraption. Thiefnubu won't restructure Nigeria. Forget about that. It won't. His own style of restructuring is to restructure the finance, to restructure the wealth of Nigeria, in which is from crude oil is involved. He wants the money for himself and his family. If it is political office and all of that, it's not about the people that can actually do the job. It's about people that can remain loyal and pay their usual 10% to him. All of them would have to rob different ministries and parastatals, agencies, and the rest of that to cough out money, public money, in order to fund this election again in 2027. And then after that, they get rewarded again. So after that, everybody will pack his bag and get out of the place for the next set of people, next set of looters. So there's never going to be any progress anywhere. Nothing. And I said that before that if thiefnubu decided to say he wants to restructure Nigeria for real, then he will cease to be president of Nigeria. Yeah, anybody who is in power that says, I want to restructure this contraption, that person must be ready to actually vacate any office and say, because it will consume you. No, I love that man. I can listen to him again and again. Anyway, so to those of you who believe that the tax reform and the rest of that is a form of restructuring, no, you are not that smart. People, they must ask the people, Number one, people have to go back to their regions. Let the Hausa stay in Hausa land. Let the Fulanis, if they have any land anywhere, let them stay there. Let the Afghans, the Igbos, let them stay in their land too. Let everybody rule their own area, so that we will stop pointing fingers and blaming one another for whatever it is that we are all suffering from today. Because the only thing that they democratize in that contraption today is the poverty, the underdevelopment, the injustice, and the corruption. It's the only democratized, these are the only democratized, stuff in that contraption today. Everybody is feeling the brunt, everyone from every part of the, I think there is this clip. So a video of, Peter Obi wants to be president. He was in Niger. I think it was yesterday, to see the victims of the gas explosion, people scooping petroleum or PMS, from a crashed truck tanker. And 187 or so people actually died. Those who survived. Watch.
Mr. Peter Obi arrives Diko town alongside some of his aides following the tanker explosion that claimed over 95 lives. His first stop is the health center that received victims from the first responders. He makes a stop at the graveside, where most of the victims who were burnt beyond recognition were buried. Prayers are offered for the repose of their souls. He also makes a stop at the palace of the village head to commiserate with him.
We are privileged this day.
Mr. Obi is emphatic about what he calls the root cause of the disaster.
We have to also look on the way we must care for the poor people in our communities. Because it's why will anybody want to be scoped or be involved when he sees a tanker of fuel? It's poverty. So we must go to the root cause of all this that is happening across the nation. We also need to visit them at this hour of need. So that's why I'm here, to see how we can support the bereaved families, and even see how we can support the community itself to be able to empower women and youth to start doing something.
He also visits the markets where several shops were affected by the disaster.
It is good that NEMA and all other organizations are giving them relief material of feeding items, but that is not replacing their business. We need to replace their business quickly because they can't live in relief all over. Other one will happen as long as this road remains like this. First is the federal government, this is the federal road. I'm sure it doesn't belong to Niger State. So they should attend to it as quickly as possible. So that it doesn't.
There is no resources to attend to anything, Mr. Obi. And yes, people will continue to scoop fuel. Because to them, right, it is their means of survival, even though it is also their means of, quick death. Many of you remember this. This is what it looks like when Nigerians are endangering their lives. I don't know if this is not supposed to even be about poverty. There is foolishness, there is greed, it's like combination of a lot. How many of you remember this video?
That's terrible. How you get it on? Ọlọ́run kẹ́kì ló dé o tí fún ẹ bẹ́tà fún ẹ lò. Ọlọ́run wàhálà dé o $10.
That was around the Otedola Bridge, I believe, in Lagos last year. I don't know if it's just the greed, the selfish, whatever. And the poorer the people becomes, the more they are involved in all kind of a dangerous adventure that could take their lives just like that. They don't care. Maybe poverty, there's a part of your brain that poverty also kind of block the frontal lobe. You doctors, which of our brains send this signal of danger? That there is danger or there is danger. Which one? Which part of our brain? Is it the frontal lobe or the poverty blocks that up? Like it just blocks it up for you. You don't see danger. You see money. You see opportunity. Meanwhile, you are swimming in death. And again and again, people have been caught in that kind of a tragedy. And I'm talking about properties destroyed, lives destroyed, born beyond recognition. And most of the time, the victims of this kind of a disaster, they don't even get any real burial because they can't be recognized. They will be born beyond the recognition that they have to give them mass burial in Nigeria. Well, a lot of them would have to do what they have to do to survive. From what I heard, take a look at this young man. This is a crack and kind of like a funny and at the same time criminal, okay? So a young man entered the public transport in Lagos. When he got in, they said, it is 1,500 naira. He said, no problem, let's go. So when he got to what we believe was a bus stop to stop, he suddenly became deaf and dumb. Hang on, let me see if I can get out.
Something like no problem. No problem. But when I heard they tell and bring money, no bring. They wait for this moment, wait.
So it was time for him to pay. And then suddenly he just became deaf and dumb. Over there. Which one is it? Well, you know the same guy who said no problem about 20 minutes ago. Which one is it? So the conductor was first, the guy was like confused. Then it is Lagos. He was like, you want to play me here? Can you believe I told you no? But to some people, they're like, oh, he's a very smart guy and all of that. I don't know how it ended, though. I saw the video earlier. I saw the video on online yesterday, and I was like, see? It's a place where, to them, right, where dog actually eats dog, okay, kind of, Nigeria is in trouble. It's always been in trouble. It's just, that didn't started today, okay? So a report that I saw earlier today, I know some of you, probably unbothered. There's something you should know. Remember when we used to say the debt of Nigeria makes every Nigeria to hold 420,000 naira. Well, I think it's more now. So they came out, I think they came out last night, and they made it to their news set today that the Nigerian debt is now 142.5 trillion naira. You know why that is not true? Because it's more than that, I'll tell you. From that report, they said, thiefnubu, between January and September 2024. Meanwhile, this debt update is for September 2024, doesn't include October, November, December, this January. Just September 2024, they said Nigeria debt is 142.5 trillion. And in that report, they said, thiefnubu added, they said the debt has gone up by 8-point-something%, has gone up by 3-point-something%, because thiefnubu has added 8 trillion to the debt. In 2024 alone, thiefnubu took more than 34 trillion naira debt. That is why I don't believe the figure. However, we can work with it and say, okay, if we now use the supposed population of Nigeria today, what does that mean? Well, they said that is 700,000 naira. Somehow, I mean, it's kind of not much. You know why? I'll tell you something. In 2022, when we did the calculation back then, the debt of Nigeria was 100 and official one too was 100 and I think it was a 109 or 110 trillion. Let's use the round figure now. 110 trillion naira debt in 2022. But the 110 trillion, when the exchange rate of Nigeria was somewhere around officially 450 naira to $1. So if you break it down, it's going to give you somewhere around $108 billion debt. So now that the exchange rate is, okay, hang on before I get to that. So if you were owing 420,000, so it's practically like your debt was 1,000 and maybe $1,100. Every Nigerian owed $1,100. So today, the debt of Nigeria in dollars is in the is in around $160 billion. Now, if you use the exchange rates today, 1,650 naira to $1, and you multiply that by 160 billion, the debt of Nigeria in truest sense of it is over 200, is nearly 300 trillion naira. And that is the accurate figure. Plus or minus, put it at 280 trillion naira. That's the debt of Nigeria using the exchange rates, because it's kind of like skyrocketed it. But when we now break the debt based on the one they have calculated, though, okay, if we use the 142.5 trillion naira debt that they announced, and then they say everybody is now owing 700,000 naira. Do you know that if you divide that by 1,650 naira exchange rate to $1, your debt is actually cheaper? It's like you are now owing maybe $400. It's even up to maybe $500 compared to $1,100 everyone was owing in 2022. That is why you can't believe them. That is why I don't believe the 142.5 trillion they are claiming. because every available data proves otherwise. Using the exchange rate as well, you will get the actual debt of Nigeria, less than 300 trillion naira. That's the debt. The level of inflation you have right now, the devaluation you have suffered, if you put all of this together, the debt of Nigeria in naira is not less than 300 trillion naira. And that means if you have to do the real math here, that means everyone is owing somewhere, something around 1.5 million naira each. That's the closest to real figure of your debt. And if you divide that by Nigeria population, if you use the exchange rate in this regard, in my own opinion, yes, you are still owing around the $1,000. But no be statistics we go chop. So make all of us just a chop propaganda, the lies. But the reality, it will continue to down on us. We can continue to live the fake lies that APC is feeding the people. But in reality, but you go tell us. So this morning, they said that the Nigerian immigration, Nigerian custom, they intercepted 22 trucks of banned drugs, contraband drugs, or contraband, they use that, which includes the illicit drugs. 22 trucks, and they set them ablaze today. Here is our report.
I reiterate the position of the National Security Advisor when it comes to such illicit, substandard, and contraband pharmaceuticals. He's very, very passionate about it, that such items as well as substances of abuse does not and must not in any way get back to the society, get back to the people because of the harmful nature which already the ACG has mentioned. He wants to get them out, make sure they're destroyed, and get them off the system. So that's the position of the National Security Advisor. He's very, very passionate about these illicit substances. Thank you. So please, what's your full name? KK, what does it stand for? You need the full name. Kelechi Kingsley.
Kelechi
Kingsley. Thank you.
Kelechi KC. I don't know how I got that off the chart. Let me see if I can put it back up. Because I had a part where Wahabi, Wole, took us through to, through the Lagos Island and the rest this morning. And I kind of like following him, so that's a few times here that I love following him to see what the mega shitty looks like without propaganda and what have you. Okay. So let me see if I can put that back up. On the other side, Shitty Man was talking to their pals in Davos earlier today as well, where he was telling them that he prefers partnership than collecting aid from these Western countries. I use that as a little break. Watch.
You've spoken of. There is also a profound sense of opportunity, and the three of you to do it too.
Well, the word for crisis in the Chinese language is wei des. Wei stands for danger and des for opportunity. Yes, we have challenges, but those challenges are also pregnant with opportunities to re-engineer our society and build back better. The crisis has given us a unique opportunity, a unique window to invest on the people, especially on education, on gender empowerment initiatives, on smart agriculture and leapfrog our economies into the fourth industrial revolution. I don't believe in aids. I believe in partnership. I would rather carry my poverty with dignity and deal with people and nations and companies on a pedestal of equality, not a master-servant relationship. I don't come with a begging bow. My continent is the richest in the world. And the trajectory of global growth is based in Africa. And Nigeria will make or mar that transition. So I move in with confidence, with cautious optimism, with hope for a better tomorrow. But most importantly, I believe that the youth of Africa are the drivers of change.
Nuisance lele.
This is the nonsense they say to themselves and their followers, right? The nonsense that Africa is the richest continent. I would rather work with, with confidence. What confidence do you have that the giant of Africa cannot generate electricity, have a stable electricity in 2025? That alone rubbishes every other thing that you say to yourself. Look at China. China used to be very, very poor too, like very poor. It was very corrupt as well. But the moment they decided to focus on themselves and leave the rest of the world, focus on themselves. Today, you can see where China is in the space of 50 years. This was after Nigeria's independence. So the criminal politicians will continue to give you flowery speeches, appear in international fora, on international forums to talk and talk and talk. But back in their countries, all of their actions and what have you continues. There's no real investment even in their own people. Education is out of reach of the majority. They are breeding poverty rather than actually, raising. They talk about the African youth. Nigerian youth alone, the population of Nigerian youth is like over 100 million, using their own number. How many of those youth have access to government-funded support program, education for real? How many? So how many investments are they making into those youth to prepare them for that future? To actually say, oh, in another so years, we expect, the African youth to be, they are just bridging us, making us available for the rest of the world to use. And that is why in Africa, the rest of the world are looking on how to pluck us, as many of them as possible. When you take a look at the rest of the world again, and you take a look at the investment in their own youth, the plan for future, you will see some of these countries with 50 years plan to the future, 40 years plan, 30 years plan. Nigeria doesn't have any plan for the future. And it's supposed to actually be the biggest black nation on earth, with criminal politicians whose only plan for the future is for their own children to replace them. And then they can loot as much as possible for their own generation yet unborn, taking the commonwealth of from their people, from the generation yet unborn, and keeping it for their own generations yet unborn. It's all talks. It's not really investment in your EU, nothing. You can't even generate electricity in 2025, 21st century. Electricity generation is the cheapest technology today in the world. It's, the world has been generating electricity for more than 200 years. And at the industrial scale for more than 150 years. No, this one's are talking heads. Sounding like they are intelligent, bunch of empty heads, selfish scums. That's where I see them. There's no real investment in you. You're just projecting. You just say we are going to be 50 million. We are going to be 500 million. by 2020, 2050, sure on here, you're going to be more of a burden to the rest of the world in 50 years or in 30 years' time. There's no plan for what will happen. Like they say, we are building in the next 25 years with the way we are building now. Nigeria will be able to care for. So they are just preparing for the population. There is no plan for them. No plan, nothing. Let's go to Lagos, where Wahab took a tour of the Lagos Island, this part of Lagos Island. I think he has the name. Let me see. Did I put that down? Just checking. Yeah, just Lagos Island. Watch this.
Not today. Like Saturday, everything should be different market for us. Go to a proper market designated for rams and livestock. Please, that is you have to do. You have to. By Saturday, they will come and catch everything. Please, I'm begging you guys so you don't come and beg us for trouble. Then just move your things to where they have a proper market for this. This is a market for it. I didn't catch it. Please. Thank you very much.
Water, pipe, but drain Babu. Tabagbani, Ojaim, we'll see all the. So we have 3 of such.
So where are you traveling to the lagoon? And it's fine, not blocked.
It's blocked according to àwọn tó wà ńbẹ̀ wọ́n ní pé àárín méjì ní gangan ní major ìdí pé ìgbà tí bẹ́gà fẹ́ ṣe kìíní pé there is that kìíní so a máa tún táwọn kìíní bá fẹ́ ṣe road táwọn bá fẹ́ àǹtí ní wọ́n máa ṣe cover ti designated.
Let us be sure.
Ọmọ wọn bẹ̀rẹ̀. Less than 3, it's less than 0.8.
Drainage, I'm actually related because it's you that I don't mind kind of book.
Ilé iná wa tó ń ibi táwa ń sìn. So we have ilé main one time.
Àwọn lórí ẹ̀rọ ilé ìkọ́ wà bí n sí.
Òun ni pákó wà lórí ibi táwa ń sìn. So pákó yìí.
Àwọn awẹ́ gbogbo àwọn kí tó wà lórí everything is good. I want to come back here on Sunday. I want to see our infrastructure clear, clean. And it's blocked.
It's totally blocked.
So, deck here. So, we go in it. So, everything. I went there.
March last year.
I went.
Yes, you can see it now. It's obvious.
So báwo lẹ ṣe ń kó tí o bá tó?
Báwo lọ ṣe fẹ́ kó?
Ẹ dáhùn báwo lẹ ṣe fẹ́ kó?
Pé oríṣiríṣi kíkó.
Oríṣiríṣi kíkó sí oúnjẹ bá mọ̀ ní kẹsàn-án sí.
Nǹkan tí mo mọ̀ ní mo
Ẹ mọ̀. Awẹ́. Awẹ́.
Àti gbogbo ṣọ́ọ̀bù ìgbọ̀n.
Mo fẹ́ wá bí jọ Sunday.
Odò alágbàfọ̀ á tún ní ìkan bẹ́ẹ̀.
Everything, even this building, all of it I have to collect it. It's not fair mistake.
Somebody said that there was a Butero in Lagos. I think it is Lagos Island. Did you see that that body water? But shit, you get that, like they don't have a sewage system. So people are still openly defecating in the public like that. There was a video of some supposed hoodlums or touts that were made to be scraping and cleaning dry human faces like shit, sweeping them on the bridge, sweeping in 2025, right? Also, there's a clip of the clash between police and the Air Force somewhere in Kwara earlier this morning. It's a short one. I think I still have that. And it was because of a tricycle incident. I didn't grasp the whole story. But it was the fight where they had to stop traffic. Okay? They were shooting themselves, not shooting at themselves, kind of, in 2025. So when people called Nigeria zoo, Some people will take offense. Even in Abuja today, where thiefnubu was commissioning a barrack, that they changed the name to his name. They still had to kind of shut the road, where the road users were left stranded for hours in Abuja. Somebody made a video of that.
Wetin be all this one we say because of president they pass or in they come somewhere, then go keep everybody on standstill. See, some moto line of Abuja Barracks to Inyanya just because of president, and he never come. Oh, they just park, they wait for him. I still want to understand why. What if there is emergency? This happened the other day on going to Wuse side. Now this one again, just because one man in they come, in never still come. They just have to keep everybody waiting. Man, wow.
Because that's one kind of privilege that they enjoy that makes them feel like, very powerful. President, I can't be using the same road. I cannot be on the road and all of you will be on the road. I am a president, Zoo. That's what people call it. Zoo. Oh, awesome. Thank you very much, everyone, for your time. Yeah, it's been another interesting evening. Let's digest that. Meet again. For all of us in the UK, we have been receiving this red alert, by the way. So if you have received yours, when you both tell you say weather could be summer, believe them all because it's going to happen. So we have been warned that there's going to be a bit of a very tough weather across some cities in the UK tomorrow, including us in Glasgow. We have received the same red alert warning on our phones. Like your phone started vibrating. Started making this sound. I was like, waiting. They said tomorrow is going to be really, really sort of like tough. And my car is due MOT tomorrow. I don't know if I will be able to make it anyway. So wherever you are, just stay safe. Okay. Thank you so much for your time. Good night.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Mayegun dayari political. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. ijó ìgbádìyẹ àníyàn sọ́ra jù bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o àníyàn sọ́ra jù bí gómìnà kówó jẹ àníyàn sọ́ra jù ọlọ́pàá tí ń gba rìbá àníyàn sọ́ra jù aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o àníyàn sọ́ra jù òkúrọ̀ olóṣèlú àníyàn sọ́ra jù ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì àníyàn sọ́ra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o àyè.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Ìmọ̀ àyíṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ìmọ̀ àyíṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣà ìtú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́run ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀bọ̀lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.